All right. So I don't live stream, but I'm gonna start live streaming, I guess, because why not? So today I have to do 2 webinars, so I'll just go ahead and be streaming these. One is just a warm up, just gonna run through taking a logo that's not really ready to do anything, and we're gonna make it ready to go, and then I actually got to do several of these, like some different. I got to take a carrot and some other stuff. I'm not gonna do that one right now, but because the carrot takes like 5 minutes, but I just need to get warmed up for some streaming. So we'll just go through and do this. And sometimes people don't understand how to do, like take something like a rasterized image. And if you're not familiar with what a rasterized image is, it's when you zoom in and you get these pixels and you get this anti-aliasing and stuff going on, and you cannot bring this into a 3D program. So we're going to go into the process of converting this, and we're going to make this little bowl here. I'm not going to really get into doing the cartoon outline today. That's don't have a lot of time, so just going to run through and do this. So first off, to get this bowl, well, actually we're not going to worry about the bowl, we can use this as a reference, but just to get this ramen dishes kind of thing done, we want to go ahead and convert this to vectors. So to convert this to vectors, we just select it and we go to its path, trace bitmap, and we're using Inkscape here, and we're just going to do brightness cutoff, and we'll just say okay, and then that should have went ahead and converted that to a vector. So yeah, so now we have our vector, so we can go ahead and move this out the way. And then after we got that, so now this is ready to go into Blender. So because if we take this and we hover, we can see all the points and stuff that has been created. So that's good. So we're ready to go. Take this into Blender and do some stuff with it. So let me go ahead and I'm going to save as, and I'm on Windows because my profile, not my profile, but my setup for my stream is on the Windows side, and I didn't feel like setting it up because I got a lot of stuff to do. I had to do a previous webinar. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then we're going to bring this into Blender. So this is Blender 2.92. It's the latest version as at the time of recording. So we're going to bring this in, and so after you've converted, you want to bring it into Blender. And one thing I did not do, you want to keep in mind, is when you bring in, if your units are set to pixels, it's going to come in really small. So I'm going to change this to millimeters, and I'm going to make this, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to make this, let me lock the aspect ratio. I'm going to make it 400 millimeters across, and then I'll go ahead and I'll save again. So I'll save over what I got. So you want to like save it in millimeters or whatever units you're going to be working in Blender. So once you've done that, I'm just going to go ahead in here, and I'm going to go ahead and delete everything. Most people keep a little bit of the default stuff done, but I'll go ahead and get rid of it. So next thing you want to do is you want to bring in your vector, which is our SVG, our scalable vector graphic, and Windows is fantastically slow. I will be bashing Windows the entire time I'm on here, but that's okay. Nah, it's okay. Windows is okay. Great for games. Everything else, not a fan. All right, so bring this in, and now you see we have this ramen dishes logo that's now in Blender, but it's not really what we want. We don't want the black, and we want the letters. So what we'll wind up doing is we're gonna have to break this apart. And we could have broken this apart, and now I might get into this and decide it's easier to do this in Inkscape, which probably is going to be. So let's not waste time doing it here. So let's delete it. And I'm going to go and right click, and not right click, I'm just going to go path, and we're going to go break apart. So now we're going to break those apart. We're going to get rid of this, and now we will go and highlight everything, and then we will combine, and then now we get it in black and white. So that's a quick way of doing it. Now if I would have did it in Blender, it would have took a lot of time. So you want to use the correct tool for the job. there's nothing wrong with using, like, leaving the tool and doing something else. I mean, it's not going to save you any time, make any more money for just for your personal enjoyment of knowing that you did it using a tool that's not built for it. So we'll just go ahead and save. And then I'm gonna hit the 1 key, just to kind of get myself straight, and then I'm using the center mouse. I don't have mouse keys on, so I apologize. But anyway, we'll go ahead and do import SVG, bring in that SVG, and there we go. There's our ramen dishes logo. So now this is in Blender. This is you know, if I click this, you see we have all our vector points and stuff, so this is great. We're gonna be making this bowl, and I'm not really worried about the rest of it except for just the words, but we want to get this centered first. So first off, let's and I think I'll select all of these. I'll select these, and if I do Shift S and I say cursor to selected, it's going to put it in the average of all these points. And then if I come out of, or hitting, not, because if you hit tab, you go into edit mode. So I'll go out of edit mode by hitting tab again, and now our 3D cursor is sitting there. And then I'll go to object, set origin, and I'm going to set the origin as to the 3D cursor. So now our origin is now at the 3D cursor. Then if I hold Alt and press G, it'll center this. And then next thing I want to do is I want it to sit it up on the, because right now it's laying down in 3D space. So if I hit R for rotate, X for the X-axis, and 90 degrees, now we'll have this sitting up on the, like, front and center, and great. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make this bowl. I haven't had to make a bowl like this before, so it's going to be a little trial and error. I'm just going to do it, think about it, and how I'm going to make this bowl. So obviously it's just round at the bottom, and then we have, like, you know, the little feet and stuff like that. I did go and look let's see, I think I did grabbed a reference of some sort. So if I do, I'm on another monitor, I'll pull it over here. So I'm going to do ramen bowl. So I'm going to look up a ramen bowl. So we have a ramen bowl, and it's kind of rounded, and then I'm assuming the inside of this is kind of like it probably goes up, but as we're looking at it, it's really like a sphere, and then it's another sphere, and then we're gonna have the inside. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna use a Boolean operation for that. I could do it a couple of ways, but I don't want to confuse anybody who's watching if they've never done any 3D, so I'm gonna use a Boolean. I don't know. Oh, we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be entertaining, maybe not. So now that I got this, I'm going to start off and make a sphere, mesh, and I'm going to make a sphere. It's going to be big, and I'm going to string it on down. I'm going to hit Alt G, bring it to the center, and I'm kind of using that as a reference for my bowl here. So let's go here, and I'm going to go to the front view, GZ, bring it up, and this is just a rough reference. So we'll have this, and I'm just going to scale this down a little bit. I'm going to put on my X-ray here so I can kind of see through it. Turn on wire so I can see this. So next I'm going to duplicate this bowl here. So I'm going to duplicate the sphere. So I'll do Shift D, and then I'm going to scale it and just bring it in to about the thickness of what I want the bowl to be. All right, so that's a good start. And now what I want to do is I'm going to delete the top of this sphere. So what I'll do is I'm going to isolate just the spheres together. So I'll select them two, and I'll press / and that's just going to isolate these items on their own. And if I hit the tab key, it's going to take me into edit mode, and I'm going to cut these in half. So let's see here. All right, so I'm going to cut these in half. So I'm going to go face, I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to hit X, and I'm going to, actually, I'll just hit delete, and I'm going to delete the faces, and then I'm going to get out of that, and then I'm going to come here and do the same thing for the second one, and I'm going to hit delete, and I'm going to delete the faces. So now if we look at it, we have a sphere and a sphere, all right, but they're not connected. This is what you call non-manifold. All right, so if you're going to do 3D printing or anything like that, you got to make sure that they're all together. So that's what that means. So we're going to want to make these like together as a unit, but I'm not worried about that yet. we'll go through that and you'll see how simple this is to do. So we're not doing Boolean right now. This is hard surface modeling. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I'm going to come out of isolation mode, and I'm assuming that let's just say we're going to make the little bottom of the bowl here. And so what we'll do is we'll make the bottom of the bowl. So I'm going to extrude this down, and then I want to kind of model it around. This is going to be a real simple thing. I decided to do this. This is a very simple kind of thing to do. So what I'll do is I need to go into X-ray mode. Gonna catch keys or maybe not. All right, so let's go. I'm gonna select this one, / isolate this, and now I'm gonna go and make sure X-ray mode's on, and I'm gonna go into edit mode, and I'm gonna select this set of faces here, okay, and then I'm going to do extrude. So I'll do extrude on the Z-axis. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do extrude, and we're just gonna bring this down just like that. And as you notice, the bowl is going to be flat, and this is not flat. So in order to make it flat, if I do scale on the Z-axis 0, it's going to flatten that out. And then now if I want the bowl, so let's say the bowl's not going to come straight down. It's going to kind of go out a little bit. So I'm going to go scale that out just a little bit like that. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we want to make the bowl have the inside, because I can imagine that it kind of goes in and goes up. So I'm going to turn off my X-ray so we can kind of see what we're doing. And if I do I for inset and I'll pull this in, I'll do E for extrude to pop that up just a little bit like so. And then I'm going to do I for inset again, E for extrude. No, I'm not going to extrude that. I don't even need to extrude that. So I'm going to do I for inset. And then I'm going to do GZ up to Z-axis, and then I'm just going to have that so that the bowl is kind of like that. Okay, so we'll just assume that that's the bowl. So now I'm going to slash to come back out. And now we want to handle this issue where we have this non-manifold here. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come out of edit mode. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to go control join. So we're going to make these one thing. I'm going to go back into isolate. And now what we'll do is we're going to select edit. And if we go to edge mode, select these edge and that edge and press J for, F for face. And then, now that we have the face, I should be able to press F all the way around. Just keep pressing F. And then we now have a full manifold thing there. So now we have our ramen bowl. And that's how you make a ramen bowl if you never made one. So now, the next thing we're going to do is now I'm not going to make these noodles. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to make the noodles. Because if I was going to make the noodles, I would do some physics and some cloth simulation and stuff like that. We're not doing that today. We're just making this bowl and whatnot. But we do want to make these chopsticks. Chopsticks are very simple, because obviously if I can make a bowl, we can make some chopsticks very simply. So let's go ahead and do the chopsticks. And they just look like they look like cylinders. So let's just go ahead and do it that way. So I'm just going to go and I'll make a cylinder. So I'll do Shift A and I'll make a cylinder. And I'm going to scale this down. And I'm just going to eyeball the approximate diameter of this thing here. Now I don't want to rotate it yet, but I'm just going to eyeball the diameter a little bit. So that's about right. That's what I want. And then I'm going to go into edit mode by hitting tab, and then I'm going to scale on the Z-axis. I'm just going to scale this up like so. All right, that's about right. And now the next thing we're going to do is since we have not subdivided this at all, which means to add other things, other lines through here, this is going to make it simple. It gives us a lot of leeway on making the chopsticks and try to match this little design here. So first off, since I've scaled it, if I hit the in panel, let's see here, where's my item? Let me come out of edit mode. You see we have this scale here, and we don't want that small number, so we're going to go to Object, Apply, and we're going to apply Scale, just to get that back to something usable. And now we'll go back into Edit. We're going to go into Vertex mode, select this, and we're going to scale this. Oh, make sure you're in X-ray mode to select everything across And then we're gonna go and we're gonna bring this down. So now we get like this kind of a chopstick kind of action. And then the next thing is we know that it's not gonna be it'll be a blunt end. Let's turn this off. Let's go to face mode. And let's extrude. Scale a little bit. Extrude. E. Scale a little bit. Okay. There we go. Now the next thing we want to have that same kind of rounded tip at the other end. So we'll click this and we'll go extrude. Scale. Extrude. Scale. We'll do another one. Oops. Extrude. Scale. Like so. So now we have this, and then what we can do is we can do face, and we want to poke the face. Grab the vertex. So let's go to vertex mode. And the reason why I usually would just use keys. I'm just letting you guys see where I'm going if you watch this back. And I'll do GZ, and I'll just kind of bring this up just a little bit. Now we have the challenge of, and now this is too rounded like that. So I'm gonna do scale and Z-axis, and I'll just kind of make sure. Hold on, let's go here. Ooh, do I have any problem? I think I have a problem here. Let's see here. Let's select those scale, Z-axis, and we'll just kind of make it a little rounder, like that. Okay. All right. So there's that. But now we have this thing here, which probably might be an indent or something like that, stylish one or something. So we're gonna add a loop. So we're gonna go back into edit mode, do Control R. So first off, I'm gonna hit A. To deselect everything, and I'll do Control R, and then this is going to make a loop, and then I'll select that, and I'll slide it up to about here, and I'll do GG, and I'll just slide it to about right there, and then I will do another loop by R, do like that, and I'll slide this here, okay, and then we go to, let's see, GG, and then I'll just kind of bring it close. Then I'll go to faces. And then we'll just select this. So if I, hold on, which one is it? Control Alt. This is one that always gets me. Let's see if I do one of these. We'll select the whole ring. There we go. Alt and click. And then if I do extrude, scale. And now you see how it's scaling like this. It's not really scaling where I want it to be. It's scaling the Z-axis where I don't want it to do that. So in order to prevent that, if I do S-Shift-Z to omit Z from it, it'll scale it how I want to. All right, and there we go. So there's our chopstick. And then what we can do is duplicate with Shift-D. And then now we'll put this in the bowl. So I'll rotate it, G, and rotate, whoops, no, what am I doing here? Rotate, and then I'll just kind of, I'm just going to eyeball this for now. So we're going to put this here and here, and then next thing I want to do, because this is now distracting me, is I'm going to select one of these, and I'm going to press L for linked, and I'll select one of these, L for linked. Actually, let's just do this. Let's do C, and I'm just gonna grab a little bit of everything. Just grab a little bit and then hit L. Actually, L, or let's do Control Plus to grow selection, and then I will just delete vertices. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to top view, and I hit the 7 key, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and move this and rotate this, and G, move this, and then we're going to see how we're looking. And so they're not touching, but we do want them to touch, so let's make sure that they're touching where they need to. Alright, that's going to be good enough. I mean, only you guys know they're not touching, so that's fine. Alright, now we need to make the ramen dishes actually be 3-dimensional. So that's a very simple process. We just go in here, we come to this little thing here, and then what we can do is just tell it to extrude, and we'll just extrude it like that. And so there you go. And then I will go to shading, and now let's turn off X-ray. Now we have the problem where this is giving you all these facets here. So to get rid of those, we're going to right click and do shade smooth. And then another thing we need to do is we need to we got to adjust our normals. Normals is how the light is calculated falling off the surface. So if I highlight these, select all, let's see here, let's go to this thing here, go to normals, we're going to turn on auto smooth, and we're going to say 60 degrees. And then, so that gives that, but then it's still, you see, we still have these facets. So we're going to go and add a modifier, and then the modifier, we're going to go to subdivision surface. And the next thing we're going to do is, you see how it kind of messes up, it's messed up some of our modeling here. So we're going to select this, and we're going to select this top edge. So we're going to go to edge, alt select, and we're going to alt select this. And if we do shift E and move our mouse, that's going to define that as a hard edge. And then we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to alt select that, shift alt select that one, shift E, pull it out, and now that makes that hard edge. Now we can also, let's go X-ray. We can come here, and let's see, how about, I'm going to turn this off for just a second, and I'm going to do shift E, and I'm going to make that a hard edge there. And then we're going to turn that back on. And let's go to our shading. Let me save what I got, because I've been out here. Save as. I mean, just living on the edge, not even saving anything. Ramen bowl. Don't mind my typing. I do better most of the time. I type a lot of code, just not right now. Alright, so let's see. Let's come out of edit mode. And there's our nice, smooth ramen bowl. And then now we know that the ramen dishes is, so we know this bowl is black. We know that these are like other colors. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to do any lighting, or not lighting, but any like cartoon or like outlines. But let's at least give this some color. I could have put that logo on the side of that. That would just be a texture. That's for another time. But now one thing I want to do is I want to make these letters different colors. So let's go into our Inkscape, and let's see. So we want to get this color here. What I find, just make a little square, come to our fill color, and then just select, and that will give us our color here. So I'll just copy this, and next. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to color this, but it's all going to be the same for the moment. So I'm just delete this color. I'm going to do new color. And what we'll do is we'll make a new shader, tune BSDF, because this would be for a anime kind of style, the ramen dishes anime comic strip situation. So check that out. It's on Instagram, ramen dishes. You'll see the logo. So now this is the same thing here, but then this is going to be black down here. So, or I think it was white in the thing. So let's, we want to separate those. And it's the same thing that I just did. If I come here and I select, I hit C for this brush select, and I just select a few vertices, and then you hit enter, and then you can just press Control plus, and it'll grow the selection. And then we see we have a couple of items that need to be grown out. So grow that selection, and then if we do P separate selection, that'll put it in its own object. And then we want to, let's go ahead and we're going to hit this little button here to duplicate the material, and then we're just going to change this to black. Okay, so now that's your ramen dish black, and then we can and now you should name your materials. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call this ramen yellow, and I'll call this one ramen black. Okay. And then we want to make this run. Now we want to call this the bowl. Now we want to change these to different colors, but let's say we don't want that. We want this to be not tune. We'll just make this like a nice dark purple kind of thing. Now the next thing, and then let's say let's go with traditional kind of like wood color for the. And this is not wood color. Let's do like that. There you go. So let's just do that. All right. So we have this. So next thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to front view, GZ. I'm gonna put this right about here. Do Shift C to center everything, and then I'm gonna grab everything again, GZ, bring it on down, and then what I'll do is I'll do Alt, and, Alt P. I mean, well, Alt A, make a plane. Scale it insanely, okay? And now this is gonna be a very simple situation. I'm gonna save this again, and I'm gonna switch this over to cycles, not Eevee. I'm gonna do cycles, GPU, and it's gonna take a minute to switch over to this because I've not been on Windows. So at this point, as this does this, hopefully, well, I got 3 people watching. This is fun. All right, let's see. All right, so while that's doing that, where'd it go? Yeah, see, longer to render kernels. So since I haven't, I'm usually on Linux most of the time, or 95% of the time, especially for work. I play games on Windows. This is why we're waiting for these kernel things to compile. But what's going to happen? It's working on running the rendering through my video card. So we're going to do some basic lighting, and you can see pretty much what it's going to look like in real time when we do that. So I don't know how long this stream is. I think it's a little longer than I anticipated, but it's content, I guess. Let's see. All right, well, while that's doing that, let's see. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to be lighting the bowl, and I'll be adding a few lights and environment. So let's see. We've been dealing. Oh, there we go. So here we go. So here's our bowl, and this. So it's not lit very well. So first off, I'm going to start and just kind of we're gonna use a sun texture. It's a very simple way of starting your light. So we're gonna go here and we're going to say, let's see if it's in here. Background color. Let's see. We're gonna do sky texture, and you see it immediately gets super bright. All right. So. And next thing we're going to do, so we have, now this is simulating like some light and some other stuff, but it's a very simple way of getting sunlight, which usually people don't tend to understand how sunlight works, where usually sunlight you have blue, and then you have orange in the middle for the sun, and then all this other stuff you got to do, and then as the time goes on. But it's just understanding how, but this simplifies it. It's like you can adjust the air quality, and as you adjust the air quality and the dust level in the sky, you can get a different type of, like, increased ozone and makes it more blue, the rotation and elevation of the sun. So I'm just gonna play with this and see if I can get a result I like, which probably not. Let's see. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to change the rotation of the sun here. Was it 15 degrees originally? And let's go here. I want to turn the sun this way. 150 degrees. And let's turn the elevation down a little bit. And then let's adjust the ozone down. Adjust the dust. But as you see, you can get the point. So now we have this Now the thing is, we're losing a lot of this dishes, so let's go to the texture, and we're going to turn off tune, and we're going to go to principal BSDF, and we're going to change this to black, and we're going to up the roughness. And now one thing we can do, since we can add a bevel to this, and let's grab let's grab this, and let's go down here to our bevel, and let's just kind of, nope, that's too much, 0.001. So this is going to give us a little bevel on here, and then what we can do is on the texture, let's go to the texture here. On the texture, so if we reduce the roughness, you see you get like a little bit of this light, and we can do some other stuff. I mean, I can sit here all day and kind of work on, there we go, that's what I'm saying, like something like that. We're just gonna grab those edges so the dishes. Okay, so next we'll just kind of do the same thing here. We're gonna, I know it's supposed to be tuned, but and he's watching now, so you have no choice. This is what you're getting. So we're going to do principal BSDF. We'll go ahead and put in whatever hopefully I still got it in the clipboard here, color. And then let's go ahead and let's suggest the roughness down some. And I'll add the bevel, so let's go here, and we'll add this bevel here. What did I do? Extrude. Extrude. Nah, bevel. There it is. 0.01. No, 0.001. I have to remember what values I put in here. Alright. And now let me go back here. A specular. Let's see. Let's make it more metallic. Let's do that. Give it a little more metallic feel. Alright, and let's do the same thing with the bowl. So the bowl, the beauty of the bowl, see, another thing that you need to understand is like things that realism bevels make things look a little more realistic. And I think this is a little too thick as I'm looking at it. So let me come here. And let's see here, where's our extrude? I'm gonna do 0.005. Let's see, 0.001. And let's do 0.005. 0.05 is fine. Let's do that. And let's do the same thing for this one. 0.05. Alright. So now let's go here, and then I'm going to add a bevel modifier to this. So I'm going to go modifier, bevel, and I'm going to add a little bevel modifier to it. I don't know if this is going to work. I think I need to, I got to commit my, I think I'm going to have to commit my subdivision surface. Let me see here. Let me move this up a level. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to commit to my subdivision surface. So, in order to do that, before I do this, I'm going to duplicate. Nope, not the plane. Let's go ahead and delete the plane. I need to duplicate this, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and hide it. So let's go ahead and hide that right there. And then now, so I have a backup of it, and then what I'll do is I'm going to apply my subdivision surface, and it's still not giving me my bevel though. Let's see. I think I know. Alright, that's too much time on that. No, don't worry about it. Alright, so, but anyway, let's just go ahead and, because I'm sure it's something, I have to go in and put the bevel weight on there, and I might have to do some edge loops and some other stuff that you might care about, you might not. But let's just go ahead and just adjust, and let's go here and reduce the roughness of the bowl. Actually, let's make the bowl a little more metallic. Okay. All right, and then the next thing we're gonna do is gonna do one. So now that we have this, I'm gonna do one other thing. And so now that we have, let's see, we have the bowl, we have this. Let's see here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do I'm gonna make a plane. I'm gonna do GZ, bring this plane up. I'm gonna scale, nope, don't do that. I'm gonna do scale this plane down just a touch. I'm gonna go to this view. Actually, I'm gonna do a side view, and I'm gonna which way are we? This way? Yeah, that way. So I'm gonna rotate, and I'm gonna put it right about here. And rotate, and then I'm gonna go to material, make a new material. I'm gonna call this light. I'm gonna change this to emission. All right. And I put it in the wrong spot, but that's okay, because I'm gonna rotate. I'll rotate it this way, and put it here, so where I want it. Alright, so we're gonna do here, and then I'm gonna set this to 10 for a minute. Let's set it to 20. And let's see. Let's see here. I'm trying to get just a little bit of a highlight over there. So let's do 100 and just blow it out real quick here. Okay. So let's do 50. Okay. And you know, the lighting, you know, it takes a while to really, it's a trial and error kind of thing, figuring, not really trial and error, there's a, you know, process, but, you know, just really figuring out what you want to do. I don't really know what I want to do with this, but, and then once we're done here, and let's say that, next I just want to make a camera, so I'm going to do camera, make a new camera, hit 0 to go in the camera, I'm going to go to view, and I'll do camera to view, and now this allows me to control the camera, and then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to set this. Now I'm going to set this up. Let's say that this is what I want to do, and I think I'm going to want to, let's do this. So now this here, I need to do something because this is being lost, it's losing, so I'm going to go in where it's extrude and go 0.001, make it thinner so it doesn't get lost. And then I'm going to, and another thing I can do, no, I can't do that. I would do a couple other things here, but let's just call it on this one. I'll just kind of center it, and so I'm just going to get this like right about here. So the next thing I'm going to do is, you see we have this nice line here. I don't want that. So I'm going to go into my camera. So I'm going to select my camera. I'm going to go depth of field. I'm going to select what I want to be in focus, which is going to be dishes and things like that. And then what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to film. I'm going to go to transparent. And that's going to get rid of that background, and then I hit F12, and oh no, alright, so now we have that hidden bowl that I had here. I need to come to this thing here, turn on these items, and then I want to make sure it doesn't render or show up in the viewport, and then I hit F12, and there you go. A 3D ramen dishes bowl from a rasterized image. That's it. And now I got to do a different one that has nothing to do with ramen or anything like that. If you have any questions, There's only 3 of you, so I'm sure you all know me. So just give me a call. All right, that's it. Later.